Hey friends, this is Angela from Art of Creation Homestead. You're in the kitchen with me, and please ignore the sound of the dryer and the washing machine. As I've told you before, this isn't a studio that we film in, this is a real working homestead. And we have a half a bushel of Fuji apples, and I'm going to be working those up today. I'm going to show you what we get out of a half a bushel of Fuji apples. Now these are supposed to be seconds, which means they're going to be a little beat up. But look at that. Does that look beat up to you? Does that look beat up to you? I think that looks pretty near perfect. And that's the way all of these are. That's the way our orchard is. I've told you about our orchard. It's amazing. Now, I've already made an apple cake out of this, and we've ate a few and things like that. So it's not a full half bushel right now. So what I'm doing right now, I'm getting these bad boys peeled up because I am making some apple butter today. Normally, I will make apple butter out of Melrose apples, which is a local apple. If you don't live around Ohio, a lot of times you won't hear about Melrose. That's pretty much a local apple. And they are delicious and cook up beautifully. But I was able to get Fuji's this time, and we love some Fuji's around here. And our orchard has the best Fuji's you've ever tasted. So that's what we're going to be using today is Fuji's and the apple butter, and I think it's going to make an amazing apple butter. Now, I'm getting them all in the pot. It doesn't matter if you put lemon juice when you do an apple butter. Now, in this pot, though, in this bowl, I do have lemon water because I am saving these peels because I'm going to use these peels to make some apple jelly. Now, this half bushel of seconds of these Fuji's was $25 at our orchard. That will vary depending on where you live. That will drastically vary depending on where you live. Like my mother-in-law, she gets seconds. She gets seconds of apples for like $14 for a half bushel, which is crazy, which is a crazy good price, but they're also a little more work to work up than these are. They're definitely seconds. So you will find different prices depending on where you live. So I'm going to keep on working up these apples. If you want my apple butter recipe, we have done a video for it, and I will leave a link somewhere up there, floating in the sky. And I'm going to keep on working up these apples. I'm going to keep on peeling up and getting all these apples all ready to get on to cook. And then I'll show you the next step. I'll show you steps along the way, talking to you along the way about what we're doing. Now we've got this batch all peeled up and cut up and ready to go. They are on the heat, cooking. Now we've got to let them cook down for a while, and while they are cooking down, I'm going to go get started on peeling a second batch to do a second batch of apple butter because we love us some apple butter around here. So I'll be back and show you along the journey. And now our second batch is on and starting to cook. And as you can see, our first batch is almost ready to start pureeing. They're nice and soft. I alternate batches like that. That way this one will be ready to jar up and go into the canner when the second one is ready to just puree. I'm still going to bring you along for the journey, so hold on. Now these apples are all mushed up. First time I've ever made it with Fuji's, but I tell you, I'm loving the way these are cooking. They cooked up really fast. You see they're all mushy now. So now they're ready to puree and add the sugar. So I'm going to puree it and add the sugar, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now it's all pureed up and I've added in the sugar. And where Fuji's are sweeter than the Melrose that I usually use, I used a lot less sugar. And as you can see, it's silky smooth right now. Now we got to let it cook down until it thickens, which takes a little bit. But you don't want to turn it too high on this because it will start to splatter and it will be like molten lava. Okay, now we've cooked down a lot and we've thickened, and you can tell it's ready to add your spices when you stir on top like this in a figure 8, and you can still see the figure 8 in there. And when you spoon some up on a spoon, it stands up on the spoon. See, it's standing up. So now we're ready to add the spices. Now we're going to add all the spices that makes it apple butter instead of just applesauce. And we're going to stir this in and let it cook for a few more minutes so all those flavors can marry. And then we're going to jar it up. And of course, we are going to use 4 jars lids because that's all we use in this house. And if you want to get some too, you can check out our affiliate link below and use code R10 for 10% off. And I'll be back and show you what this looks like. Okay, this is the last jar of this round, of this first round going in. I got 6 pints out of that first batch. Now the second batch is ready to puree, and then we'll be getting the apple jelly started. Now our second batch of apple butter, I have pureed it and added the sugar. Now it's cooking down while the first batch is processing in the water bath canner. Now I have dumped all of the peels from the entire half bushel of Fuji apples. I've dumped all of the peels into this pot along with some water, and I'm letting them cook to make some juice, to make some apple juice for making our apple jelly. There's a lot going on here. So we got 11 pints of apple butter, and now I'm getting ready to start straining my apple peels to make my apple jelly. So now I'm going to start straining my apple peels for my apple jelly. And this is going to take a while. Okay, we've got our 6 cups of juice here. And now I'm going to add my sugar gel and a little bit of sugar. And now we are ready to start making our apple jelly.
And see, I come home from work and it smells like apples in here. And I find out, well, I knew, Angela texted me, but she made this delicious apple butter and this beautiful apple jelly. Look at that. That is some pretty jelly. And a nice 4 jars canning mat, but it's a beautiful jelly. Look at that. Very, very good. And we're so glad you stuck around and watched this video, watched Angela making all this beautiful apple product. That's a half bushel of apples again that she used, and she got an apple cake out of. I don't know if she told you that or not. She got an apple cake out of it. She probably ate a few fresh. We got some apples in a baked oatmeal over the weekend. 11 jars, so it's 11 pints of apple butter and 4 pints of apple jelly. So we got a lot. I have half a bushel of apples. So if you got a chance to get yourself some apples, get a half bushel. I think we paid $25 for that half bushel. It's supposed to be seconds. Those are a little better than what most places will give you seconds on. And but you get a lot of really good product out of that. And even if you don't eat all that, they're great gifts. It's a good apology. I'm sorry, neighbor. I ran over your dog. Here's a jar of apple butter. I don't know. It may not make it up. I like apple butter. That'd be all right for me. But so, you know, one of those deals, right? But we do appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching so much. My name is Jason. That's Angela Kay. It's Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.